So, you think you're ready for your check ride. You've been watching YouTube videos, skimming through the FAR aim, and maybe even convinced yourself that winging it is a strategy? If you don't prep properly, you're about to go down in flames faster than a gear-up landing on a slick runway. But if you do it right, you'll walk in there cool as a cirrus with a parachute. Step 1. The ASA Oral Exam Guide, your personal cheat code. If you don't have this book, stop watching this video and go get it. This thing is your golden ticket to surviving the oral exam. It's packed with every single question an examiner might throw at you. And let me tell you right now, they're not gonna ask you what kind of cookies they serve on Delta flights. They're gonna grill you on systems, weather, airspace, regulations, and every possible nightmare scenario they can think of. How to study like a pro. Don't just read it, attack it. Highlight what stumps you. Scribble notes in the margins. And for the love of everything sacred in aviation, don't just skim through it like it's a boring novel. Use a study buddy or instructor. Get someone to quiz you out loud. Random order, no mercy. This simulates an actual exam where questions don't come in nice, neat order. If you don't understand something, look it up. Dig into the FAR aim. Check your POH. Ask your instructor. The goal isn't to memorize, it's to actually understand. Step 2, the FAR aim. Tab this like your life depends on it. If you think you're gonna impress your examiner by flipping through the FAR aim like a lost toddler, think again. You need to have this thing tabbed, organized, and ready to go before the examiner even finishes their sentence. Here's how to make it work. Use color-coded tabs. One for Part 61, pilot certifications. Another for Part 91, for flight rules. Another for special topics like medical requirements, airspace regs, or inoperative equipment. 91-213, trust me, they love asking questions about that one. Know how to find things fast. The examiner might throw you a curveball. Where do you find the fuel reserve requirements for VFR flight? If you can flip straight to 91-151 in 2 seconds flat, you look like a rock star. If you're fumbling around like it's the first time you open the book, well, good luck. Keep it updated. FAR aim changes every year. If you're using last year's copy, you might be answering with outdated info. Examiners love catching that mistake. Step 3, scenario-based training. Train like you fly, fly like you train. The examiner isn't looking for a walking Wikipedia page. They want to see if you can actually think like a pilot. That means you need to get used to answering questions that don't have a simple yes/no answer. What to do? Tell your instructor to throw real-world problems at you. You're 10 miles out and your alternator fails and it's nighttime? What do? Weather just went from VFR to IFR and you don't have an instrument rating? Now what? Your fuel gauge is bouncing around like a bad stock market? How are you gonna handle this? Think out loud. The examiner isn't just listening for the right answer, they're listening to how you got to that answer. If you walk them through your decision-making process logically, they'll see that you can handle yourself in the real world. Step 4, check ride day. No chaos, no excuses. Check ride day is not the time to be fumbling around like you just woke up on Planet Aviation. You need to be on your game before you even set foot in the exam room. Pro tips for game day? Show up early. If you check rides at 8 a.m., be there at 7:30. Last minute scrambling is a recipe for disaster. Lay out your paperwork the night before. Logbook, endorsements, pilot certificate, medical, FAR aim, oral guide, nav logs, have everything neatly organized so when the examiner asks, you hand it over like a pro. Eat something. You don't want to be mid-check ride and suddenly realize that you're shaking because you haven't eaten since yesterday. Confidence is key. Walk in like you belong there. Examiners can smell doubt. If you sit down looking like a deer in the landing light, you're making their job too easy. Final words. Own it, fly it, nail it. You've put in the work, you've studied, you've flown, you've survived those I totally botched that landing moments. Now it's time to cash in. Walk in there with confidence. Show them what you know and fly that plane like you've done it 100 times before. The examiner isn't looking for perfection, they're looking for safety, knowledge, and sound decision making. Show them that, you'll be walking out of there with that shiny new pilot certificate. Now stop watching this video and go study. You've got a check ride to pass.